I figured while I was getting everything actually set up, I would talk a little bit about some recent things since I've got a little bit of time. True, they'll pretty much only be accessible to people in the VODs, but, ooh, that's loud. For anybody curious, this is what I use for music. Hopefully it's good sounding. Okay, where was I? So while I get everything set up, why am I getting a subscriber? Oh, wrong account. Whatever. I'm logged into my, I got 2 YouTube accounts, whatever. So, as I was saying, had some recent events, quite a few. That is Steam. I don't need that open. Okay. We'll just hide my desktop icons. Not like there's anything on there that I care about hiding. It's just prettier. Why is Twitch not showing? There we go. Twitch is showing now. Kick is showing, and YouTube is showing. Good. So, where was I? Some recent events. Won't go into the more personal stuff, like my really personal stuff, which is basically my health is garbage, and I'm on multiple new medications to try to deal with that. But that is my problem, not yours. The really neat thing is, while I was out at the doctor's, getting diagnosed with even more garbage that I don't want to have to deal with, and getting confirmed for more surgeries I don't want to have, I got a whole bunch of different things from what looks, at least on the surface, from various different people. I'm guessing it's only one person, just with different names, obviously, because people have different names for different accounts, and so on and so forth. I know, I do. Person was from Smiteworks. Now, I know I'm not special in this regard. It is nothing unique to me, and there's probably a ton of people who get this stuff all the time, but I was invited to the affiliate program. Again, it's probably something I could have probably found on my own and signed up on my own for all I know. But the fact that they reached out was really, really kind of cool. So I'm looking into signing up with that. There's some things I have to do, some back-end paperwork, before I go ahead and do it. But I'm probably going to do it. So if you are in the VOD, and you do want to support me, and you do want to support Fantasy Grounds and stuff like that, and want to purchase things through them, which I personally think the value is there. So I know a lot of people use other programs that may be more free, but you do get what you pay for. And I understand that if you're going through those more free-oriented stuff, if you have the know-how to make it work, then the value's there. But if you're time constrained or whatever, like if you're just looking to run an adventure path, downloading and running a adventure path right out the box purchased from someone like Fantasy Grounds is really easy. Like I don't actually have to do any work when I'm doing an adventure path, which is sometimes nice. So you could check out my Twitch or Kick and click the affiliate and get me a little bit of shekels, which, again, not trying to do the pity party thing, but I could definitely use that kind of support. Because ultimately, I'm going to start this one off, which is maybe something that's better for another video, but this is a live stream, and it is what it is, and while I get everything set up. I do this for multiple reasons. The number one reason is I'm hoping that at least somebody enjoys what they're seeing, and get something from it, some level of enjoyment or whatever. So that's obviously the number one thing I'm doing this for. And then no particular order, because it's the order of which my reasoning for doing things kind of bounces around. Yes, I'm doing this in the hopes I can make some kind of income. I'm not necessarily expecting to have this change my life and this become my full-time job, though admittedly that would be really cool. There's no expectation there, but gain a little bit of money to help pay bills right now would be really nice, though not expected. But in the long term, I'd like to kind of give back. I've learned a lot through other people's content. If I can help people learn from mine what I've learned, then that would be kind of nice. My friends prefer other programs. I'll come out and say it. They prefer Foundry. The number one reasoning they prefer Foundry is because it doesn't cost them money. The secondary reason is, to be honest, Foundry is a lot prettier than Fantasy Grounds still. I personally still prefer Fantasy Grounds over Foundry. Like, I've only done one campaign in Foundry, like one session in Foundry. And Foundry does have some things that are really, really cool. But it's not Foundry. It's actually the people who make content for Pathfinder 2nd Edition through Foundry. Unfortunately, Fantasy Grounds doesn't have that for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. They have it for D&D D&D 5th Edition. It seems like D&D has more support on FGU, where more Pathfinder 2nd Edition has more support on Foundry from the community. Not necessarily from the companies that run them, but from the community as a whole. I wish I knew how to program stuff, because I'd love to make more things. Like, one of the things I'd love to do, here, let's grab an example. If I struggle breathing or having this thing, it's because I'm a couple meds that are causing me some issues. One of which is I get out of breath a little bit quicker. Did I put under story? I think so. Yeah. Okay. This is something that Foundry has through a add-on that FGU does not. And if I knew how to create something like this easily, I would do it. So this is just an example of something I did because I want to do a bestiary of sorts. Now, Pathfinder 2nd Edition, how their recall monster knowledge is boring. In order to make it interesting, a DM has to do it. The Foundry version has all the stats split up into a block. Like, you literally take a monster in the bestiary and you drag it into this mod, and the mod basically creates a setup of all the different stats. So, but it'll all be hidden, and you can reveal one by one to your players what that stat is as they recall knowledge. So, this is my version. No player can see this out the gate. Like, I could go, okay, I'm going to share, I think I can share just the picture, for example, and the name. So I share the picture, I share the name. They can't see anything else. They do a recall knowledge. They can ask. So they do the recall knowledge, and at that point, if they succeed, I go, okay, I'll reveal the name, the image will be the first thing revealed. I might have like two names here. One with like this description of the monster, and then the other one, the actual one. And this is the problem. Like, if I actually had a mod, it would be cleaner than what I'm doing right now. What I'd probably end up doing, like, these are just the different headings. So these headings would probably be in a separate section. Like, can I move these around? Move up? Yeah, I can. Okay. So what I do is I actually have the heading thing. I have it here, and then on a separate one, this. So this would be my heading that I would read, but this is what I give my player. So, just like in normal monster knowledge, you get to know the traits. Okay, well, instead of being told the traits, so they wouldn't be told medium, mindless, undead, unholy zombie. They wouldn't see that at all. Instead, they would get this shared with them. The text, which would basically tell them that they're mindless, that they're medium, that they're undead, that they're unholy, that they're zombies. rather than actually giving them as a stat block. They get it more as a story. And same thing goes perception, skills, everything. And I could have hidden and unhidden ones, so indicating that, hey, they have a special attack, you just don't know what it is. So you can choose that, whatever. But if I knew how to make a module, I would set this up as something more automated, or even if I had to customize it, which I probably would, something prettier. Like this took me, each monster would take me an hour if I were to do this. It'd probably take me less time as time goes on, but instead of, like the zombie bite, they won't be told they have a special attack zombie bite. They'd be told, when the zombie shambler manages to grab or restrain a victim, it can unleash its most feared attack, the zombie bite. Sometimes it'll have the name, sometimes it won't. But instead of giving the actual stats of it, it'll go with the single savage action. The shambler sinks its decayed jaws into the flesh of his victim, delivering a grievous wound. The bite not only deals significant piercing damage, but also threatens to infect the wound with the taint of undeath, make it a particularly deadly weapon, deadly assault. So rather than just saying what the actual stats are, because if you go to the bestiary, so what it actually does, oh, this is the first one, isn't it? Yeah, this is first edition version. Muscle core. Alright, so instead of them getting this block of information, instead, they're giving this information. Their armor class, for example, average. So they could easily figure out what average means, because all you have to do is go to the building a creature rules, see what an average monster at that level, because they'll probably figure out what effective CR they are, and they'll go, okay, well, if it's average, at this level is probably somewhere around 12. So they might give themselves a range of like 11 to 13, depending on the level of the creature, which they might not know. So that's kind of the idea behind what I'm considering doing. It'd be a lot of work. And have to come up with other rules. And there's a lot to it. And I wish I knew how to make modules and such. Because I'd make something with a prettier, with a easier interface, with preset sections. So it'd have a preset section for the picture, preset section for the name, and so it'd basically be very similar to this setup in a form like this, that you could right click and reveal certain things, and when you reveal something, it would unreveal something else. So in the trait section, I would have a heading for me. This would be just for me. Only I would see this. And then it would also have what the DC is, and it might have multiple DCs. So religion's the obvious one because of zombie, but maybe there's a society one in there because it is a human at its core. Maybe there's an occult one, and the DC might be different. Maybe there's an arcane one. Maybe because of the type of creature, maybe arcane has some influence on it. But it'd have the various things, plus it'd have the applicable lores. We'd have a list of skills already built into this in another section. Then they roll. And in theory, you could even automate it. So they could target the creature, do a recall knowledge, it does the checks, randomly picks one even, or would give a drop down for the player to pick one. It would put it in chat for the player to see, and all the players to see, and update the bestiary profile itself, taking what would be a question mark right here. So this would be a question mark under the trait section, and would remove the question mark and instead reveal the information. That would be, in a perfect world, what I'd love to have, but I don't know how to do that stuff. And I don't even know if FGU could do it. It should be able to do it. I say it sounds easy. In my head it sounds easy, but if you talk to a programmer, anything that sounds easy to me is probably a ton of code that isn't so simple. But that's what I would love to do. And I can do this on my own. I wish I knew how to make modules and stuff, because I would make an interface that was more specifically designed and specifically laid out for this sort of thing. And I'd have it so that you could literally drag and drop a creature into the interface. It would split them up into these separate sections automatically. The story stuff wouldn't be automatically there. You'd probably have to do that as a DM unless someone like me were to literally go through every single monster and make a write-up for every single ability. That's not something you could necessarily automate even remotely quickly. Just because of just how much work this would be. Now, I use AI to generate it, but for every monster, and then you have to worry about custom monsters. If there's a custom monster in the AP, then you definitely have to manually do it yourself. But having something automated so that you could have the actual stats here. So the traits would be a question mark. They succeed, it shows them the traits. Perception, question mark. You make the roll, and it shows you either the below average, average, above average, and the dark vision, or will actually give you the perception number. Depends on really how you want to do it, and maybe there'd be a toggle for that. Or you just have two separate mods, one with descriptive stats, one with actual stats. Or you could have it set up so that it shows both, and the DM just chooses which one they want to reveal. I don't know. But this is good, would be a lot of work, and I'm contemplating doing it. I won't be doing this until I'm at least done book 2. Because I'm on book 2 and I have ideas for book 2, and I don't want those to go away as I'm working endlessly on this. I don't know. Some of my players are like, it's cool, but they're all kind of questioning, is it worth the time and the effort to do something like that? I'm the type of person who, I have OCPD. I'm not diagnosed, but anybody who knows me knows I'm a very obsessive compulsive person. I am a Excel junkie. I am a data junkie. Like, you give me a sheet of paper and tell me, you give me a sheet of paper with a bunch of information on it, and then you give me a document like this and say, fill in the blanks, do it every day, all day, for the rest of your life, and as long as you give me snacks and bathroom breaks and the odd rest, I will happily do it, because I love data entry. It's a problem, which is why I enjoy this. I enjoy building the campaigns almost more than I enjoy running them. Like, I did this in about 30 minutes, this whole thing. Again, I used AI for the story elements, but my prompts were almost as long as this. But I had a lot of fun doing it. And that's the thing. It's worth the time solely because I had fun doing it. But there's a part of me that's like, but if nobody cares, does it have value? It might have value to me in the moment, but it's like my stream. Streaming this right now has value to me right now, but if nobody ever watches it, my value of this stream right now is going to diminish greatly over time. And if nobody ever watches them, I will eventually stop, just because I will be disheartened that I'm just doing it for no reason. Which is why I try to keep... This is why I pretend that people are actually watching. Because I need that idea that people are. And that brings me back full circle, the whole Smiteworks thing. I don't know if the person actually watched my channel. I know they looked into me, because that was a really weirded out thing. Because they have information on me that is not generally something that most people know. It's public. It's not private. I don't care that people know it. It's just weirded me out for a moment. So they looked into me. I don't know if they looked into my actual content. I don't think they actually did. They just saw that I streamed this stuff, and that was good enough for them. And hey, that's way more than a lot of people look into my channel. So I appreciate it either way, no matter how innocuous it probably is. But yeah, so that's one of the things I'm really thinking of doing, and I don't know if it's worth the time. But I want to do it. I'm not rushing to do it right now, because it might be one of those fly-by-moment things where I think it's a really good idea now, but it pulls away from what I should be doing. Because I'd like to start this campaign as soon as I can after I'm done my Age of Ashes campaign. But my Age of Ashes campaign is going to be done long before I'm done doing this, which means my friend's campaign that I play in, that I also stream, will probably just get to run every week until I don't know how long this is going to take, because I don't really work on this when I stream now. And I might have to change that, or I might just have to stream more. But I'm wasting a bunch of time. Well, I don't consider it actual waste, but I might be wasting your time. So, where we left off from last week, as I cover my face in saline solution. Another problem is my meds make my eyes even drier than they already are. We were working on the Bounding Allen, which is the variant of the Bounding Hound's Haunt. I thankfully made a list of all the things I need to do. So let's go with that list, which is going to cover up Chad, unfortunately. So, Hergseg H2, Bounding Allen, open battle map. We need a battle map for this, so we'll have to look into that. Add image to Allen Bestiary. I didn't do that yet. We can do that now. Okay, we go to campaign files, Whispering Way, book 2. And then we go to Fantasy Grounds, book 2. And we drag the monsters over. And we just skip all the ones that are already done. Okay. Now we go to Assets, refresh. You always have to refresh. And we grab Allen. We are going to create a map record. And the reason why we're going to create a map record is because, one, we are going to first grab him and put him here. Why won't it let me? Oh. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. So that is good. And we're going to go notes. Yep, we're going to go notes, and that's where we grab our map record, and we toss it right here. Now we have an image of Allen to share. Because what's the point of having an image if nobody ever gets to see it? So we've added image to Allen. We need to add the treasure parcel. I'm just doing the easy stuff right now because let's get the easy stuff out of the way. I'm going to move my microphone so I can type easier. Hopefully that doesn't take away my volume too much. Okay, Hergseg H2, Bounding Allen. Now I'm gonna have to make a guide for myself on everything because things are everywhere. That's something I'm gonna have to do, which I'll probably do after, maybe after Hergseg, or I'll do it between streams. Actually, I'm not gonna do it on stream. First things first, we need to make a turquoise. Turquoise gem. I don't care if it's ID'd. I don't really add a whole lot of stuff in here. My players don't care, so. It's a 1 gold gem, so I'm going to put 2. That saves me the hassle of changing the price to 50%. It's a little cheat I use for myself. Silver 3, copper 4, silver pocket knife, appearance plated with silver, not a functional weapon as the silver would, or not a functional weapon, decorative only. Silver would scrape off easily and have less value than the knife as a whole. Because you know players are like, they're going to be like, oh, it's a silver weapon, we're going to use it in combat. Yeah. That's not what it's there for. So 4 silver pieces. To have it set as 2. Let's see, items. We need to add thieves' tools. Player core 2, yeah. I don't want the orc version. Yeah, I think it's just the core rules. I only have orc up because I don't have all the books, all the core books yet, because money. Otherwise, I buy them. I know orc is good enough because I have the original books too. That's kind of the big problem with Fantasy Grounds is it is honestly kind of expensive to get into compared to Foundry. But again, you get what you pay for. And I spent a lot when I had the money. Now I don't have the money. Unfortunately. How things change. Delete. Shift cells up on here. So that is done. I can mark this off as complete. This encounter, is it done? I believe it's done. We can delete the treasure. Encounter entry for 3 Allens, right? We need an encounter entry. Stack H2. Bounding Allen. I think Allen is done. I think the image was the last thing we needed. We're going to put 3 Allens on here. Because each one does the screaming, I want to show them that there are 3. So that they're not confused about how that works. They attempt to disable the haunt. Allen after combat. Trigger Allen haunt. That goes there. Alright. We need a battle map. Now, I typically just Google and grab one. Finder, field, battle map. I'm not really good at making that kind of stuff, so. And I'm going to need a battle map that's going to be used multiple times. Overgrown. Actually, you know what? This one is good. I don't want open link. I want open image, new tab. Yeah, we'll use this. Like, there's no actual creek, but if my players start getting uppity about that. Well, I know how to deal with uppity players. Book 2 maps. Herd, stag, field, battle map. Okay, maps. Drag the maps over. Assets. Refresh. Perk stag field. I could always grab that and like do a super zoom in, but okay. We'll drag this over here for now. It's not a bad map. So, enable disable lighting. We can set the lighting to probably gonna be here. What creepy? How creepy do we want to get? Mist? I haven't been using effects much lately. I really enjoy the effects. But some people complain that it gets hard to see things. Like, I can actually see that being difficult. And some people play on maps that are kind of iffy. So, I would do it normally. Because I love them. They're awesome. 5-foot path. No, let's go with a 25 or a 10-foot path. Yeah, that's 10 feet. I'm good with that. I'm not worried about line of sight stuff. Like, this is just a battle map for a couple fights in here. Let's set up the islands right there. And call her good. I'm not going to say it's a throwaway combat. It's just not important enough to really hunker down and make a really epic fight map on a creature that technically doesn't move. Like, yeah, haunts are weird. So, encounter entry done. Field battle map done. Might help if I actually make the map. And we will... What am I missing here? There we go. There. I'm happy with that. And that's done. Next. Next. We need to deal with the fact that they go to Elsa's house. I want Elsa's house to be a little bit different. So, I don't want it to be as looted. And I want them to have been packed up and gone earlier. They did recover Elsa's body, so... I need a... similar to Alan's house, I need a description for Elsa's house. House should be slightly less impacted by the elements. Her house would not have been as heavily looted, and more care would have been taken packing and moving belongings. Because, yeah, they never give you a description for Elsa's house. Let's see. The house should still... The house has still been abandoned and left to the elements. Right, in the same style as you did for Ellen's house previously, because I want consistency. Let's see. Okay, I'm still good. Okay, the search. I would like the search findings to be different. On a critical success. On a success, I want how do I handle this? Because what I want to do is, this is Elsa's house. She is like, in the story, of all the children that were murdered, which is all the blue circles, hers, she was the only one that actually knew the beast. And I want that to be reflected. Open bar zone. Hers is, she was the only one with friends of the beast. So after her site was abandoned, I want the idea being that the beast went there and left flowers. This is the beast's hovel. So I want him to have taken water plants, and I think a nature check should give that. But I don't know how. I need to think about how I want to reflect that. And left them inside the house after he left, because he would have come back and left it. So I need to decide what I want. Like, I want them to find it. I kind of almost need them to find it. So I kind of want them to find it on a success. But what do I want to reveal on a critical success? That could work. That could work. Okay. I think I have it. On a success, I want them to find dried and withered flowers left in front of left in the main room. On a critical success, yes, I want them to find what they find on a success, but also signs that something large had moved through the room. Not too long ago. The tracks ending right before the flowers. On a critical success or critical failure, I want them to find them to accidentally step on the dried flowers, crushing them. They should be able to tell they were probably flowers, but too destroyed to know anything else. I would also like a second skill check for those that make the success or success to allow them to identify the flowers. On a success, they can't identify the species, but are sure they are some kind of flower that grows near water. On a critical success, they get the same info as a success, but identify the flower species as common lakeside flower species. Yes, I put in all the effort. Yes, Alberta. Why not? That's where I'm from. Let's just do it. Emergent. Give me something pretty. Yellow pond lilies are okay. Sure, let's go with that. Arrowheads are. Arrowhead flowers. Now I'm just gonna make shit up. Which commonly grow out of water, out of fresh water, and require and do better and grow better in indirect sunlight. Again, that's not probably true about arrowheads, but the indirect sunlight part is to maybe hint at the fact that maybe it grows near this building right here. Okay, on a critical failure, they are not sure what kind of flower it is, but you believe they grow in swampy environments, which will make them go from here all the way over here instead. So directly away from what they're doing, basically the punishment. They'll eventually probably come down here, but there has to be, again, there has to be some kind of side effect. And we'll just mean that they won't get to encounter Elsa, they won't get these deductions. They'll overall still be fine. They'll just lose the opportunity to get valuable information for later. So, okay, as you make your way deeper into the village, you come upon a house that seems slightly better preserved than the others. The roof's though saggy in places. Space. Okay, I'm good with that. I read that previously. I really should get used to running, like, using the advanced stuff, but because it's so much nicer, but I'm just so used to doing it this way. I might import it over to that later if I end up having the time, because I would like to actually separate these into chapters to organize things better, and the advanced story stuff is really good for that. Because, ooh, does that work now? Oh, requested roles work in this campaign, right? It doesn't work in my other one for some reason. Like, you can access the under setup. No. Huh, it used to be here. Where is it now? Maybe it's down here now? I don't remember. There was a section, though, that you could access, like, the overall story, but you can go, like, add advanced item. And the advanced items are just... That's why I used to make the zombie shambler thing. It's just... It's so much nicer, and you can lay things out so much better. I'm just so used to doing it using the non-advanced that I'll probably import it if I have time, like I said. Okay, when they get inside. Step inside, the first thing you notice is relative calm compared to other houses you've explored. Corners, the air is less oppressive. Near is retained some semblance of order. Furniture remains in place. Chairs around a small table, a rocking chair near the hearth, and a small bed in what was likely Elsa's room. The belongings left behind suggest careful, if hurried, departure. Drawers and cabinets are slightly ajar. The icons mostly removed, but a few small items remain. Other overlooked or intentionally behind. Show faint outlines or pictures or keepsakes hung. More from Agent Ware. The house, though less disturbed by looters or the elements, still bears the marks of abandonment. Small nest in the corner. That's fine. Again, it's Elsa's. I want Elsa's house to feel nicer. Others are not going to feel so much. When they search the house, because they will. And why shouldn't they? DC is suggesting 15, but I want just an average. Level 2, DC 16. What did I do for Allen's? Bounding Allen. Oh, not Bounding Allen. Karen's house. No, must be welcome present. Yeah. Ooh, DC 11? Okay, I gave it a -5 because there's nothing to look for. Yeah, I'll make it DC 11. I really want them to find this. C11. Search. Critical success. As you carefully search the room, you find a small bundle of dried and withered flowers. Table in the main room. The flowers, though long dead, seem to have been left as a final gesture before the house was abandoned. I'll change that. Further, you know something unusual. Faint signs of something large moved through the room recently. Tracks ending right before the flowers. These quiet reverence as if whatever was here. Okay. The flowers, though long dead, seem to have been left more recently than when the house is abandoned. Ending right before the flowers seems just quite suggests whatever it was may have left the flowers. Yeah, I like that sentence, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's more about getting what you want to get across. Okay, and success. Small bundle of dried withered flowers left on a table in the main room. The flowers, though brittle and lifeless, were clearly placed there intentionally, perhaps as a final act for the band. Seeing as quiet and somber. Placed there intentionally. And appear to have been left relatively recently compared to the abandonment of the home. It's quite somber. Flowers are a reminder of the care that once filled this house. Sure. Critical failure. Failures just don't find anything. So obtuse you find nothing. As you move through the room, your foot catches on something brittle. You hear a crunch and look down to see the remains of what was like a bundle of flowers now crushed beyond recognition. The dried petals and stems crumble beneath your boot. With a few scared fragments behind, it's clear they were once flowers, but they're too damaged to discern anything more. Yes, I know that insinuates that the flowers essentially teleport on the floor, but maybe they knocked them over in their lack of care. I don't know. Doesn't matter. This could be the first person to roll, because they'll roll an initiative. And if they get critical failure, then the flowers are gone. Yeah. When they tend to identify the flowers. DC 16? Yeah, I'll just make it equal DC. DC 16 nature. They can obviously use an appropriate lore skill, but there's no point putting that in there. I can't predict what lore skills people are going to have, but if they have like herbalism or whatever, I'll give them a like -2 to 5 off the DC, depending on how relevant it is. If they actually have like lore botany, then they'll get like a DC 11 on the roll. If they have like herbalism, then maybe they'll get like a DC 14. Stuff like that. But you can ad-lib that, like you don't need to put into it. Upon examining flowers more clearly, recognize them as arrowhead flowers, a species that commonly grows in freshwater areas. These plants thrive in direct sunlight, making them a familiar sight near lakes and streams. Flowers here, so far from any invisible water source, raise questions about the origin. No. They're not that far from a water source, so we're not adding that. Again, ChatGPT is nice. It is a tool, though, and tools still have to be wielded. Though you can't find the species, these flowers grow near water. Their wilted leaves and stems suggest they were once lush and vibrant, perhaps collected from a lakeside or stream. Flower remains elusive. That one's better. Critical failure. Flowers aren't familiar to you, but something about them suggests they thrive in swampy environments. The way the stems are shaped and the fade color of the petals gives you the impression they might be plants common to wet marsh areas, though you can't be sure. Oh, I love misleading stuff. Okay. I think that's it for Bounding Island. I don't see any reason to add any more. I'm content. Bounding Island is complete. Well, we're on to the Chapelle. This one actually has stuff. This one is going to be interesting, I guess. Why couldn't my file be accessed? Okay. Wither. Okay, campaign, Whispering Way, campaign books, Trial of the Beast. We'll close down this one. Drag this over. Oh, way too far down. Okay. Yeah, we're not at Carrion's house yet. This is the chapel. Okay, so we have a clue here. That is also important. This is one of our deductions. New task. I now need to do a... No, this is a problem when I have breaks. I'm meant to introduce players to first. Okay. This next encounter is meant to introduce them to Carrion. No, to Rachel. Rachel. Rachel is also meant to give them the potential ability to examine the bodies of the dead children and acquire some useful holy water. How do they want the scene set up? Okay. Using the documents and the additional text I will provide. I need multiple scenes set up. First, I need the setup to the outside of the chapel. Use the description provided to describe the extreme dilapidation Second, I need the setup for the inside of the chapel. Again, use the description provided to assist with that description. Third, I need a description of the treasure. Description for the water to assist the players in understanding that it is clean and potentially holy water that has been left untainted. Fourth, I need a description of the small graveyard outside the chapel. Fifth, if the players decide to investigate the graves, we'll need help in creating a scary thematic scene where the ghost of Rachel appears. This will be grass being dead, right? Being dead. Rachel appears. She is a small female human child dressed in funeral clothing. She will appear before the players standing behind one of the graves and stares at them. Suddenly, spectral hands of children will begin rising from the earth, because I think that's what they do. From the earth and begin trying to grab and drag them underground. How do you deal with one of these? All right. Anything else? Yes. Sixth, if they exhume the bodies, exhume the bodies, they find that only Elsa and Carrion's bodies are buried. The rest were never buried. Buried, not buried. Their tombstones being the only things to mark they're passing. Is there any required for skill checks on this one? Yes. If they use, let's go 7th. If they choose to use medicine on Elsa and Carrion's bodies, they find on a critical success that both bodies are undamaged other than natural decomposition, but that they appear to have possibly been drained. Let's check a Wraith. Negative energy, I do believe, but let's double check. Negative sunlight attack. Plus drain life. Yes, so drained. Appear to have been drained of their life force, causing death. On a success, they find the bodies have no life-threatening damage, making the cause of death unknown. On a critical failure, they find that the only find that the bodies are that the girls were clearly murdered by the nature of their remains. Don't explain anything. Just, nope, I'm sure. That's what critical failure is. It's like, nope, I don't need to explain myself. I did a dummy. I don't need to explain dummy things. Okay. Use the following to assist with everything along with the rinse. There you go. Oh, good. It's got them set up. I got 7 scenes, right? Yes. Holy crap, sorry, 2:30. I'm not going to get much done in these. Well, I kind of wasted 15, 30 minutes almost. Well, I'm not going to say wasted. That's the wrong way of putting it. Scene 5, scene 6. And scene 7. Wait till it's done, then I'm going to go over them. Okay. Scene 1. So make your way deeper into the heart of Hergstad, come upon a small, whitewashed timber building that stands in stark contrast to overgrown, decayed surroundings. This is the village chapel, once a place of worship and solace, but now the years of neglect have taken their toll. The white paint that once brightened the exterior has faded to a sickly gray, peeling away in long, jagged strips. The wooden structure itself leans slightly as though the weight of sorrow and abandonment is too much for it to bear. There's missing several shingles, allowing the elements to slowly eat away at the building's integrity. Once clear and welcoming are now cracked or completely shattered, with jagged shards of glass jutting out like broken teeth. Weeds and vines have claimed the foundation, winding their way up the walls as if trying to pull the chapel down to the earth. The iron chapel is still intervenes, so as if the building itself is holding its breath. A sense of desolation and decay hangs over the entire scene, but there's a faint whisper of something more, a lingering presence, perhaps a remnants of prayers once offered when these walls came. That is a good scene. I like it. I like it a lot. When they enter the chapel. Alright, stepping inside the chapel, the first thing that hits you is the smell of rot and mildew. The once sacred space has been overtaken by nature and time. The wooden pews, now warped and splintered, overgrown with moss and creeping vines that seem to choke the very life out of the structure. The floorboards creak ominously underfoot. Some of them cracked are missing entirely, revealing the dark, damp earth below. The altar, once the focal point of the room, has now been spared the ravage's time. Mice have made their nests within its recesses, and the remnants of what might have once been offerings now lie scattered and gnawed. The holy water font stands in one corner, its surface covered in a thin layer of green algae. As despite its appearance, water still retains a faint glow, suggesting it has retained some measure of its sanctity. Good. Above, the once beautiful frescoes depicting Desna and the heavens are barely recognizable. The vibrant colors have faded, and large sections of the artwork have taken or have flaked away, leaving only ghostly outlines of what once was. There is heavy with the sense of loss, not just the building, but the faith and hope. Let's face it, I want them to get this holy water. Like, I really do. And is glowing. This is a campaign that on many occasions Desna gets involved. So having it glowing may not be something it always does. Maybe it's only because Desna is now starting to get involved. Which is why Divine Intercession is going to be something that... Negative Divine Intercession? Let's look that up. We'll put that here. P2E Desna. Alright. So... cause fear, despair, cast nightmare, use similar magic to corrupt dreams, engage in bigoted behavior. 8 fellow travelers, explore new places, express yourself through art and song. So, if they start causing fear, despair from this point, corrupting dreams, this feels new. Like, define bigoted, I guess. But if they start doing these things, I might start giving minor curses. I fellow travelers for new places, express yourself through art and song, find what life has to offer. And I might have to set something up to maybe give some minor boons. Yeah, I might have to give minor boons to people who are actually doing the virtues of Desna. Alright. Let me check out the holy water font. As you approach the font, your attention is drawn to the water within. Despite the green algae that has begun to form on the surface, there's something different about this water. It's something pure. The water is a faint, shimmering glow, barely perceptible in the dim light filtering through the broken windows. Water is being blessed and retains its holy property despite the decay around it. Water is enough to fill 5 flasks, which might actually be changed to 3 flasks. The water is not full of 3 flasks, and though it appears tainted, you sense it remains uncorrupted. The final run to divine protection once. Okay. Again, this is Desna's first influence. Because she has influence in the next book, too. Okay. Then we need to do parcels. Hergstag, H3, the Chapelle, items, holy water, and we will leave it identified. There we go, we have our parcel. Next scene, we're going to leave a space here. And they check out the graveyard. Okay, let's go to our little handy thing. There's no more treasure in all of Hergstag. So, that's done. Outside the chapel, a small graveyard stretches out its rows of gravestones standing like silent sentinels. Graves are marked with simple headstones, each described with a name and date. To the children of Hergstag, the earth here is uneven, with some of the graves appearing as though they've begun to sink into the ground, the weight of years pressing them down. Worn and weathered, the inscriptions are legible in some cases, but with a bit of effort you make out the names. The graveyard is overgrown, tall grass and weeds, once headed past, now barely visible. No place here, as if the spirits of the dead are at rest, even if the bodies may not be. Oh, no. Inscriptions barely legible in some cases. Gonna get rid of this part because I want them to examine it. So I don't want them to automatically assume they have. And they examine the gravestones to find the children. Having examined the graves, a chill wind sweeps through the graveyard, carrying with it a sense of unease. Suddenly you notice a small figure standing behind one of the gravestones. A young girl dressed in faded funeral clothes, her hair hanging in limp dark strands around her pale face. Her eyes, hollow and filled with sorrow, lock onto yours. Before you can react, the ground around you begins to shift and stir. Spectral hands, small, ghostly, and eerily translucent, begin to rise from the earth, reaching out toward you with desperate, clawing motion. Actually, I should double check that. What is at least 2 years in the air? They are sure wise hands. Yeah, cool. Natural strength. If they try to drag you down to the cold and ground, the girl Rachel remains motionless, her gaze and as if she is silently commanding the spectral hands to claim you. Yes. I don't care if they know her name. I think it's more creepy when they have a name. Create for me a scene image of Rachel. In the meantime, we're gonna go grasping. Grasping dead. Grasping dead. It's Rachel. Oh, do we have a good image? Oh, that is creepy. Oh, that is creepy. Oh, that is creepy. I like that. Oh, I like that a lot. Save as, image. Let's move that over here. Why it keeps going to that one, I do not know. Pathfinder Whispering Way, Book 2. Monsters. Rachel. She is creepy in the best way possible. Okay. Building hazards. Rachel is meant to be a level 1. Stealth and disable. Okay, it goes from a 5 to a 1, so it's right now a 12. So why is it a 12? So it's running a low. I'm not gonna give it a stealth, I guess. Oh, I guess this initiative is based on that. So let's give it an initiative 9. Stealth disable DCs, so 22. So it's supposed to be here -1, so 16. To ritually play for the dead, or 24, which is +1, so we'll make it 18. To exercise spirits, anger, 2 tools are required to disable the haunt. Yeah, that's fair. Defenses, offense. Okay, level 5 is 26, so it's an EDC. So bring it down to 20. 20. 20. 20. I'll keep the name within here. I know it says, because she's commanding the dead, kind of. I think it's kind of funny having this creepy little girl doing it. So we do 1d6 plus 3 is what we're supposed to be doing. 1d6 plus 3, nothing else there. 1d6 plus 3. Anything else in here? Nope. Notes. Okay. Drag and drop monsters over again. Assets. Rachel. Create map record. And notes. Okay, she looks great. I love that. Hookstag H3. And I don't need a battle map for this one. Okay. That is Rachel. If they exhume the bodies from the children's graves, Actually, because this is a problem with them. Yeah, it disables it either way. Might give a bonus to somebody who worships Desna. When it's items in graves, they find the only 2 graves was marked as Elsa and Carrion contain bodies. The rest of the graves are empty. The headstone serving is only a memorial. From the remains of Elsa and Carrion, the bodies, though decomposed, are remarkably intact, undisturbed by anything other than the natural pronouncing. They said these small. Okay, we're gonna do this. The other graves remain empty, never containing a body. There we go. Series marrow, showing these bodies. Okay. If they choose to use medicine on the bodies. DC. Let's go 16. Medicine. Oh, marking what Rachel off has done. Afternoon, even though in theory you should probably not hang around here for this one. Okay, critical success. We can close that. Saying with great care, notes that there are no signs of external injury or trauma in the natural decomposition of the necessary time. However, some is off. The bodies seem naturally drained, as if the very life force sucked out of them. The cause of death appears to be this mysterious draining rather than any physical attack. Great. That is exactly what I want. And success. Exam reveals the bodies bear no signs of fatal injury. There are no wounds, no broken bones. Nothing suggests how the children died. The cause of death remains unknown, leaving you with more questions than answers. But if it was the beast, that would have left physical signs. So that's the whole point. Critical failure. I may have to end my stream early. I'm just not feeling well. I'm getting a little bit too out of breath trying to talk. I'm just getting dizzy. Which, to be fair, is a side effect. The exam means your mind begins to play tricks on you. The decay in the area atmosphere causes you to misinterpret the signs. You're convinced that the girls were brutally murdered. The remains of a violent struggle apparent in the way the bones were have settled. It was far from the truth. The player should not realize they failed in the critical failure. The misinformation needs to be convincing to them. And again, sometimes ChatGPT does some things. This is on the site of decay and this on the atmosphere surrounding you. The way the bones have settled in the slate is in their position you to form conclusion these children were clearly the victims of violence, like they struck down by powerful force. Seems undeniable. The fractured state of their ribs, the way their limbs are positioned, all point to a brutal attack. Perhaps even the chilling sensation about the cause of their deaths. Yep. That is great. This is what happens when somebody rolls bad. Alright. I think that's the chapel done. What is next? Okay, Karen's house is, again, a bit more complex. I think I'm going to end it here, unfortunately, an hour early. I'm going to be streaming again possibly in 2 hours, but possibly not. I'm going to go lie down and see if I can feel a bit better and maybe try to stream for at least a couple hours. Definitely sorry about that, but hopefully I acclimate to these new meds. I won't be streaming more of my build stuff until... No, probably Saturday. As long as I'm feeling a little bit better Saturday, I'm going to do a 4-hour build stream since I'm not playing Pathfinder on Saturday. If I'm not feeling well, I might play a game instead. But I'm going to try to do this on Saturday because I'd like to get more done. Since I did miss yesterday due to doctor's appointments and I'm leaving early. So thank you very much for watching. And hopefully you come check me out again, even if it's just in the VODs. Thank you very much. Bye.